Coming up on today's Airborne, Robinson production in 2012 tops 500. Garmin introduces new aviation VHF radios. Kitfox updates power plant availability, adds 912IS and 914, and ANN adds lots of goodies to the Sebring USSAE 2013 coverage program. I'm Ashley Hale. Welcome to Airborne on Aero-TV. Despite a sluggish economy, 2012 has proven to be a good year for Robinson Helicopter. The company's production for the year was 517 helicopters. That's a 45% increase over the 2011 mark of 356 helos. As in previous years, the majority of those sales, 70%, went to foreign customers. The R-44 was the top-selling model with 286 sold. Based on the backlog of new orders, Robinson anticipates 2013's production numbers to surpass 2012's. The current production rate is set at 12 aircraft per week, and with the workforce numbering more than 1,300, the company is well positioned to increase production later in the year. Founded in 1973, Robinson Helicopter Company is the world's leading manufacturer of civil helicopters. Garmin has just announced a new series of aviation VHF COM and NAV radios, the GTR and GNC series. As a replacement product for the popular SL30 and SL40 models, the GTR series COM transceivers and GNC series NAVCOM radios include a breadth of new features, while also meeting the requirements of the 8.33 kHz channel spacing mandate, which was recently enacted by the European Union under the Single European Sky Initiative. Among their new features is a unique frequency database, which makes it easy to find frequencies associated with a given airport or facility, just by entering the location name or station ID. And when manually tuning a frequency, the reverse lookup function will automatically provide the nav aid or airport identifier. All models also include a COM monitor function, which provides the utility of 2 receivers in one, allowing the pilot to listen to ATIS transmissions without leaving the active ATC frequency. The GTR and GNC series are more powerful than their SL predecessors, with versions available with 10 or 16 watt transmit power, allowing for increased range. The radios will range in price from $1,995 to $5,495, and they're expected to be available in the US in February and in Europe shortly thereafter. Just when you thought Kitfox couldn't get any better, it did. Both the much-praised and Turbo-Charged Rotax 914 and the new Fuel Injected 912IS are now available for one of the most popular sport planes of all time. Kitfox now offers the Turbo-Charged Rotax 914 engine as an option on both its ready-to-fly light sport aircraft and its experimental amateur-built kits. By doing so, Kitfox Aircraft expects the performance of the Super Sport 7 to increase dramatically. Kitfox Aircraft is reportedly the first company to offer a 912IS firewall forward package for experimental amateur-built aircraft, and the first U.S. company to offer and fly the 912IS in the SLSA market. The ongoing flight test program just survived a flight from the company's Homedale, Idaho headquarters all the way to Florida, where it showed up at ANN's headquarters. That's over 2,300 miles. The 100 horsepower 912IS shares the basic concept with the carbureted 912 series, but adds electronic fuel injection and variable ignition timing to improve efficiency. A major difference with the 912IS is the requirement for a fully electronic instrument package. The IS uses Rotax's CAN bus system for engine data, said Kitfox boss John McBean. The normal option is to use the Rotax applied engine monitor, but we've been closely working with the team at Advanced Flight Systems to allow full display of engine parameters on the AF 5000 EFA series. The feature should save builders money and time. You knew this one was coming. The planned 2013 presidential inauguration festivities in Washington, D.C. are scheduled for January 21st, 2013. At the request of the Department of Homeland Security and as part of the airspace security measures for the event, the FAA will be modifying the Washington Special Flight Rules Area and Washington Metropolitan Flight Restriction Zone with additional flight restrictions between the hours of 1,000 to 1,800 local. As always, a host of terrible things could happen to you if you should so trespass into the protected airspace. Pilots are advised to check NOTAMs before conducting any flight in the nation's capital, as conditions are subjected to change with little or no notice. Yeah, we're as thrilled as you are. With the U.S. Sport Aviation Expo less than a week away, ANN and the SportPlane Resource Guide staff still have gifts to give the aviation public. In addition to the expanded video, audio, and online coverage, ANN CEO Jim Campbell has added some serious goodies to this year's busy program. ANN has printed and will be circulating a short and concise LSA Buyer's Guide checklist, containing solid details and questions that should be brought up by every potential LSA buyer in the process of looking for their new plane. And while this free checklist is geared to basic fixed wings offerings, there is still a lot to learn from the document for anyone contemplating joining the LSA community as a sport pilot or LSA owner-operator. ANN will also use this amazing week of LSA goodness to announce our list of the top flyers dozen sport planes that we feel represent the very best that the industry can field at the moment. The list of the 13 airplanes is heavily weighted toward the LSA segment, but it does contain a number of exceptional aircraft from the EAB segment, as well as ELSA and SLSA. Jim Campbell notes that the companies with products on this list are the real deal. It was not good enough for an airplane to simply be very good to make the list. They have to encompass the whole package: good companies, good customer service, and great airframes. There could be a new Rotary engine coming to the market from Austria in the not-too-distant future. Tom Patton has the details. You're watching Airborne. More in a moment when we come back.
Since its inception, Redbird Flight Simulations has been dedicated to developing new training technologies and processes in an ongoing effort to make aviation safer, more affordable, and more accessible. Consider Redbird's flagship flight training device, the FMX, a superior quality, full-motion, feature-rich advanced aviation training device priced with real-world flight training organizations in mind. With standard features that are anything but standard, such as wraparound visuals, a fully enclosed cockpit, quick change configurations, scenario-based training compatibility, and of course, an electric motion platform, the FMX serves up a level of realism that is simply unavailable in other training devices on the market. For more information on Redbird flight simulations the Redbird FMX, and Redbird's entire line of flight training devices. Visit www.redbirdflightsimulations.com.
Welcome back. If you'd like to suggest a story for Airborne, Aero-TV, our website, or podcast, drop us an email to news-spy@aero-news.net. The second generation of Embraer's E-Jets will be powered by Pratt and Whitney's Pure Power geared turbofan engines, the company announced on Tuesday. Pratt and Whitney's Pure Power engine uses an advanced gear system, allowing the engine's fan to operate at a different speed than the low-pressure compressor and turbine. The engine makers say the combination of the gear system and all-new advanced core delivers double-digit improvements in fuel efficiency and environmental emissions, as well as a 50% reduction in noise. Planned to enter service in 2018, the Embraer E-Jets equipped with Pure Power PW1700G and PW1900G engines are expected to offer significant reductions in fuel burn, emissions noise, and operating costs compared to today's aircraft. With this announcement, Embraer becomes the 5th aircraft manufacturer to select Pratt & Whitney's Pure Power engine. It's Tuesday, and it's time for our viewer-suggested Aero video of the week.
And got out and hand-propped the plane. It caught, turning about 1,500 RPM. One brake is partially holding, causing the aircraft to rotate. The passenger, never having been in an airplane before, is paralyzed with fear.
Today, we take a journey through time, back to what appears to be the 1960s, and a video that any self-respecting disc jockey would no doubt call an oldie but a goodie. Caught live as it happened, the FAA safety video from another era shows the still present danger of hand-propping an aircraft. You can find the video on YouTube by searching FAA hand-propping accident. Finally, today on Airborne, it was a case of life imitating Hollywood when a 12-foot-long scrub python hitched a ride on a Qantas flight from Cairns in Australia's state of Queensland to Papua New Guinea. A woman on board the flight first noticed the tail of the snake out her window, according to a report in the Sydney Morning Herald. A representative of an Airline Mechanics Association said it had likely crawled up into one of the airplane's wheel wells to stay warm, and that the wind must have pulled it straight out as the flight commenced. Passengers watched through the entire flight as the reptile continuously tried to work its way back into a protected area near the airplane's flap assembly and was blown back out into view. The reptile was still moving when the plane landed, despite its ordeal. Herpetologists say that the cold-blooded nature of the reptile may have allowed it to survive the flight, but it was likely not so lucky when it arrived at its unintended destination. The paper reports that passengers on the plane say it was probably destroyed by quarantine officials in Papua New Guinea as an invasive species. Well, that's our program for Tuesday, January 15th. As always, you can get comprehensive real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. I'm Ashley Hale. Thanks for watching.